To start this project, we have a bolt of OlyFun. You can buy this stuff by the yard. I just happen to have a bolt. So the first thing we need to do is square off a piece, because the easiest way to make a circle is to start with a square. Now, kind of a cheater method of how to do this. Make sure you can see this end. And this is Sophie, if you haven't met Sophie. Sophie loves being on the ground with fabric. So this cheater method, you can clearly see where the overlap is. So all you do is find the point here. You just run your hand across. So what you'll see is it has become a triangle, basically. So it's gone from that to that. So what you do is just take your scissors and cut along that line. You can probably see that. Where this kind of fold under. And all you do, cut along that. I already cut a piece. And you can see that's square. Now, of course, it still has the fold here, and what we actually need is a top piece and a bottom piece. So I'm going to cut both the circles at the same time. And Sophie's probably going to help me, because she likes sitting on fabric. Yeah? You can fold this fabric like this, or you could keep it in the triangle it was. Excuse me, Sophie. And get it kind of lined up. You can do this one at a time if you wanted and transfer your circle over. But I like to see the whole time. And it'll be alright. So we have it into a smaller square. And pardon my cat. This whole video will have cats in it because this one loves me. Alright, so this is our main corner here that has all the folds connect here. Sophie. Hey, Sophie. So what you're going to do is take our handy friend tape measure. So that's about 15 inches. So if I cut it to be a circle that's 15 inches from the center out, then it'll be a 30-inch circle, right? Yeah. So let's find our friend chalk. And I'm probably going to grab some straight pins at a moment to keep everything pressed down. I don't know if you can see that. I just like to use white chalk because it'll come straight off. You can use a pale color, but I wouldn't recommend using anything dark. So I got 15. And then kind of estimate that. It does not need to be perfect, because when you open it all up, you won't really be able to tell. And you can always straighten it up with your scissors. Hi, buddy. I'm just following little marks. If you had a really big compass, you could use that. I do not. My compass is little. So what I'm going to do is make sure this is all flat, and you can slide it around because I have your arc up here. Pin it to all the layers. These are dressmaker pins from Dritz. They're different than regular straight pins. They are stronger. They go through lots of layers, but you don't want to push too much on them. It takes quite a bit of force for them to bend. But the regular straight pins, they don't have this head on it. They tend to bend. So spend a little bit more money. Get the ones with the nice metal. Yeah. Alright. So we have that all pinned. Now all you're going to do is, there's all those layers secured. Take your scissors. Go kind of slow. These are fabric scissors from Fiskars. They sent me a while ago. But they are my go-to scissors because they really get through these layers. So you can set all this scrap aside. It's pretty good pieces. We have a little, looks like a piece of pie. We're not making pie today. I'm going to open this up. You should have everything cut. Yeah. So where we had one piece that actually was a rectangle and had a fold on it, it no longer has that fold. You can see we have a circle that's pretty perfect. Yeah. So we have 2 circles. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is use this circle to cut a piece of batting that's a little bit smaller. So let me grab that. I'm going to set one of the circles aside because I only need one as our pattern. Use this sweet girl. This, actually the package, is polyfill extra loft quilt pattern. This is a queen king size. I work with Fairfield, who makes polyfill, and I always request a big thing of batting from them, which you will probably not need that much for this because it's kind of little. Because it's only 30 inches, and this is 110. So I will link to one that is the correct size for this. Anyway, so we're going to use this batting, and this is extra fluffy. Extra fluffy, like a cat. So I'm just going to use one layer of this, but you can definitely use more than one layer if you want your sit-upon to be like extra cushy. See, this is why you don't use the really big roll. You throw it into stuff. Alright, so we have that kind of laid out. We have our straight pin still to the side. So what I'm going to end up doing is pinning all around this. I don't know if you want to watch that. And cutting it, and then I'll trim a little bit in. It won't really be that big of a deal. I'm trying to use the most out of my batting so you get it to the edge. It's the thing I learned in elementary school. You use the most out of your paper, and you put your shape towards the edge. Because if you put it in the center, then you're wasting materials. So we have that cut all around. Hold this up so you can see. It's smaller. So we set this aside until we have everything ready to sew. Alright, so for this step, what we're doing is making a rainbow in the way that it comes from the center out on the gray. You could definitely do it more like a gradient that's stripes if you wanted. Also, you can pick any colors that you want. Right. this is all done. It's all pinned and everything. So what we're ready to do is start sewing. I'm going to lay this down for a second. Grab our other layer. See all those layers together. Alright, we have pins underneath, right? Pull some of those out. And we're going to pin everything along the edge, making sure we're catching that batting. So we have all of that pinned around the edge. And now I'm going to take this camera and this project over to the sewing machine. It's behind me. And this cat is finally asleep. So to sew this project, I'm going to be using a free motion embroidery or quilting foot. It has a little hole here where the needle will go down. Instead of with a regular foot where the feed dogs will pull the fabric and just go straight, you can actually kind of draw with this, which will be really beneficial to all the circles that are on the project. So I'm going to add this to the machine. So you're going to slip this through the eye of the machine, which I know you can't see right now. But you're also going to slip your thread through the hole in the foot. I'm going to throw it up. Put my bobbin plate on. Yep, I hear you, machine. Back machine, and push the feed dogs down. A little tricky button. And your button for your feed dogs may not be on the back of the machine. I've had a machine where it was tucked up in here, or like a button on the side. For sewing, I've set the machine at a lower speed so I can control the stitch length. Because instead of the feed dogs being on to pull the fabric, you're doing it yourself. Continue to go around. I'm not going to show that whole part necessarily because it's going to take a while to go around each one. Maybe about an hour, an hour sped up. So I'm going to keep on going around, and when I'm ready to do this edge, we'll be back. So I cut a couple rectangle pieces of OlyFun for ties so the mat can be rolled up and transported. OlyFun doesn't fray, so I don't need to really turn it to make a tie. And I want these kind of wide. So what I'm going to do is fold it in half and put it under the machine. And I switched the foot back to the regular foot. Turn the feed dogs back on. Back stitch here. Now if you need a pen, you could pen this. I don't typically use a lot of pens. instead of going across here too, because it's going to be tucked into the fabric layers, I'm just going to back stitch here and cut off the excess. So then we have that all finished. It's kind of weird lighting. All finished over here, and I just need to make a second one. All of those are done. And if you have any places that kind of overlap like that and it's uneven, you just stick scissors and so I have this all sewn. What I'm going to do is just take the two ties and find their ends. Try to keep them together. Slip them in between the layers. I'm going to put them underneath the batting so it doesn't show so much on the top. Get them all centered on the blue. Take our straight pins, put them in there. And I'm going to sew all around the circle, but I'm going to reinforce it at the ties. And then we'll be done. If you have any funky edges where it's not totally lined up, this is a good time to trim those up, just so it looks a little bit more even. That is all for this. I'm going to show you what it looks like outside where we'd actually use it, so you can get a bigger idea or a better idea of the scale of it. You can kind of see the scale and actually being used. Alright, we'll see you in a moment. So this is the finished sit-upon. You can see that it's quilted all around from having that batting in there, and it's a pretty good size. I measured it so you can sit with your legs crossed. So my daughter is going to show you how you would sit on it and then how to roll it up. Yep, pretty much like that. So it's enough room for you to sit at like a concert or like a picnic or whatnot. Not take up too much space in the amount that you're sitting, as well as keep this pretty light. Alright, can you show them how to roll it up? So have little ties tied in a bow, so when you're chilling out, you can tie them up so they're out of the way, no one steps on them. I wanted you to fold it the other direction, but this is fine too. I would fold it colored side out because that's pretty.
Yeah, but then you might get all the colors all muddy.
You might get the colors all muddy, I guess. But I would rather put it the other way. It doesn't really matter. So you put one tie going one direction and one tie going the other direction. Does that make sense? I do not know which is. Alright. Now you do is tie it in a bow. I'm going to take some photos of it going the other direction so you guys can see it looking pretty. That way it will contain the dirt. But this way it exposes your dirt. I guess that works too. Alright. So, stand up. You can see how small it is. I can't turn this. You can see how small it is. You can put it underneath your armpit and, you know, go on an adventure. Does that look good? Is it light? Yeah, it's not heavy. And you can make it any size. You can make it like picnic blanket size if you really wanted to. And it would only really be like double that size because of the width of OlyFun. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright guys. Hope you guys get to make this. Have a wonderful crafty day. Bye.